Listen, can you hear that? That's the Arrowhead mystique breathing. Honestly, it's breathing down the neck of the entire league. Listen, look at the Lamar Hunt legacy, right? It ain't just about winning games, believe me. It's about an unrelenting, calculated dominance that's defined the last decade. We're talking about a dynasty that's turned the rest of the AFC West into a collection of, honestly, scavengers hoping for crumbs from the king's table. And look, the pressure of maintaining this standard, the three-peat ambitions, it's what keeps Big Reed in the lab until 4 in the morning. Believe me, every move in this division vibrates through the concrete at One Arrowhead Drive. And right now, the vibrations coming out of Las Vegas, they're turning into a full-blown earthquake. But it's the kind of quake that might just clear the path for another parade in the plaza. So before we go into the film room and dissect why the silver and black might be waving the white flag, you need to join the kingdom ranks. Honestly, if you're not hitting that subscribe button and smashing the like, you're tailgating with the wrong crowd. Join the inner circle where the Red Sea lives and breathes Chiefs football. I'm reading the comments. I'm seeing the passion. Is the throne secure or is the division closing in? Let me know. Listen, Jay Glazer sits down on Media Row in San Francisco and drops a nuclear bomb on the Raiders nation. And believe me, it's music to our ears. He was asked point blank if the Max Crosby era in Vegas is over. And Glazer, without blinking, says, "I do." He expects a trade before the draft. And look the price tag is going to be historic. We're talking a haul probably more than Micah Parsons. Think about that. We're talking multiple first-rounders, the kind of capital that rebuilds a franchise from the studs up. Now, believe me, Max Crosby is a problem. He's a 28-year-old superstar with 44.5 sacks over the last 4 seasons. He's the only reason Patrick Mahomes has to break a sweat when we head to Allegiant Stadium. He's the soul of that defense. But the rumors are ripping that soul apart. There is a palpable sense of fatigue inside the Raiders building, says one source close to the situation at One Arrowhead Drive. They own the #1 pick in 2026. They're looking at Fernando Mendoza, and Crosby, honestly, he doesn't have time for a 3-year reconstruction. Another insider told me the Raiders don't want a tank, but Crosby is the only thing stopping them from a total system reboot. Trading him is the only way to accelerate the process. Look, from a Chiefs perspective, this is a total win in the short term. If Crosby leaves the division, Patrick Mahomes' vision just got a lot clearer. No more worrying about number 98 coming around the edge with that relentless motor. Spags can breathe a little easier, knowing he doesn't have to scheme against a Hall of Fame talent twice a year. Honestly, it's like changing the entire geometry of the AFC West. If the Raiders are out of the Crosby business, they are in the youth business, and youth takes time to ripen. And believe me, the drama is real. We are hearing reports that Crosby hasn't spoken to the Raiders management in weeks. Weeks! Honestly, he was sidelined at the end of last season just so they could tank for the top pick. Remember that 14-12 win they had over us to close the year? He didn't even play. The man is furious. He wants to win, not wait for a rookie to learn how to read a cover 2 shell. He's done playing nice, says a source inside the practice facility at One Arrowhead Drive. He sees the kingdom reigning, and he wants a piece of a contender. Lions, Commanders, Bears, Rams, everyone is calling. But listen, there's a dark side to this. Believe me, if the Raiders get 3 first-rounders for Crosby and they already have the #1 pick, they are building a war chest. One AFC West executive told me Kansas City would prefer for Vegas to stick with Crosby. He's great, but he's one man. He hasn't driven them to the playoffs since 2021. But if they turn him into 4 foundational pieces, that's a long-term headache for Andy Reid. Honestly, imagine the Raiders with a well-rounded roster built around Mendoza. That's not a rebuild, that's an arms race. But for 2026, the kingdom reigns. Without Crosby, the Raiders' pass rush becomes a shell. They'll be running cover 3 shells just to survive the onslaught from Xavier Worthy. We're talking about vertical threats that will tear their secondary to shreds. Honestly, it's like Brett Veach wrote the script himself. But, believe me, we have our own problems. We are facing a roster in flux, a cap deficit that would make a billionaire flinch, over $50 million in the red. Veach is performing financial surgery while the Raiders are sitting on $116 million in space. That is the contrast. The Kings are broke but loaded with rings. The Poppers are rich but starving for a trophy. Honestly, the war for the AFC West in 2026 is going to be fought in the accountant's office just as much as on the turf. And believe me, the ascension of Broncos and Chargers is real. The division is surrounding us, says an unnamed AFC West scout. Denver is 14-3. Harbaugh has the Chargers at 11-6, and if the Raiders get 3 first-rounders for Crosby to pair with Mendoza, Kansas City is in the most dangerous neighborhood in the NFL. Honestly, it's the ultimate test of the Andy Reid era. Can you maintain the standard when the entire division is armed to the teeth? Mahomes is the ultimate equalizer. His vision, his ability to see the rotation of the safety before the ball is even snapped, it's transcendent. It's Len Dawson with a rocket arm. It's pure football magic. And believe me, as long as number 15 is under center, rehab or not, the kingdom is the gold standard. The Raiders can trade Crosby, they can draft Mendoza, they can hire every Kubiak on the planet, but they still have to come through Kansas City. Honestly, the hunt for 2026 is officially on. The chopping of wood has commenced, and if the Raiders want to ship their best player out of town, well, believe me, we'll be waiting at the border to say thank you. How about those Chiefs, forever and always? Join the pride. Stay tuned. The reckoning is here.